Welcome, humanoids, to the latest episode of the Two Left Feet, the unofficial Your Party podcast. I'm your host, Dafydd Vaughan. It is Wednesday, 24th of September, 2025. And what a week has been since last episode. Only a week ago, everything was going swimmingly. Memberships were possibly coming open. There was a possibility of unity in the party and a absolute storm towards conference that was set for November. Our podcast didn't even have time to go out before all of that fell apart. And here to put the pieces back together is my co-host with the most. He's the consigliere of the Two Left Feet. He is the loving litigator. Please welcome former Councillor Jabez Oakes. Say hello, Jay.
Hello.
How are you?
Do we have to set up a separate podcast?
I'm
sure we're covering
everything.
All the two new membership portals or whatever.
Well, I don't know. I mean, which membership portal have you decided to go to? Because, by the way,
I haven't.
Just for the listeners, we've just heard, as we're recording this, that the other membership portal for the other faction is open.
Mm.
Because now there's two factions.
Yes. Did you know I didn't get an email for the in quotes actual membership portal?
I don't think anybody did.
Oh,
there was I think there was one.
Yeah, some people were getting
from Zara. I think there was.
Yeah.
I think the stooges that would be sort of put that down, and then the rumor going out that there was. Oh no, it's fraudulent. You know, there's hackers.
Spam.
I mean, I don't know.
I like spam.
Do you like spam? With what?
I like to fry spam.
You like to fry spam?
Fry spam.
Do you know what? Raw spam with salad cream on a butty.
Really?
Yeah, a bit of crisps on top.
Yeah.
Crush it, crush
Crisps.
it. Yeah,
Like,
Get cheese and onion.
Yeah.
Walkers down or other brands out there, obviously. Crush it in your hand and sprinkle it like that guy who does the salting of the beef over the spam.
As you can see, listeners, we're testing out some new themes and subjects.
Yeah.
On the
That's
podcast.
just not politics.
Yeah, in case this whole thing goes.
I mean, we could do a foodie podcast, I suppose.
We could.
That just puts salad cream and crisps on everything.
Pretty much. That's the
What goes with salad cream and crisps?
I think everything.
Corned beef.
Corned beef. Yeah.
Yeah. Cat food.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not? Anything to stop me having to talk about this week.
Oh God.
It's just such a this is a frustrating week. I mean, in this, at least we can say that our competency level is and has always been consistent.
Yes. Mediocratic consistency.
Yeah.
Is the way forward.
I mean, I long for mediocratic.
Yes.
Consistency.
That's definitely not a word. But
It's not.
It's a good word anyway.
Mediocre consistency.
Yeah.
I mean, I look up to the heights, the dizzying heights of that mediocrity. If only we could ever get there and show others the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's lead them by asking them what they want us to do. Speaking of which, so which faction are you coming down on the side of? Are you going to the Judea's People Front or the People's Front of Judea?
I think that. Do you want to talk about this now? Or we're going to have its own segment, or
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
All right. I mean, okay. Usually, as we have been doing in the last couple of weeks, we open with the politics of the week. But the politics of the week, this is the politics
for us anyway.
I mean, what else have we got? Ed Davies' speech about how reform is just reform, and how he barely mentions Labour and Conservatives at all in his speech.
No,
and all he does is something like 50 references towards.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was. It was. You know, this is what they're going to bring in, and like honest to God, they are all panicking over the polls.
Mm-hmm.
That they think, well, that's it. Society's lost. These people, they're going to take over.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to get a lot of seats. No, undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly,
because they won't vote for a leader in the Conservative Party. They don't.
Well, there's
trust in, or can associate themselves with.
Well, there's no sort of acknowledgement. There's no sort of acknowledgement.
Something to do with the race.
There's no sort of acknowledgement.
Sorry. Okay, carry on.
Of There's no sort of, oh, for God's sake.
Of the acknowledgement.
Sorry, I'm still sleep deprived. There's no sort of acknowledgement as to why people are saying, whether they actually do or not, people are saying they're going to vote reform. And the establishment parties, instead of just jumping the gun and saying, oh, let's be patriotic and wave a flag, they're not saying, well, maybe it's because we've been letting people
everybody down.
Yeah.
Consistently.
And, I mean, the stuff coming out today about...
consistent. At least they're consistent.
Consistently mediocratic. No. I mean, the stuff coming out today about Labour's sort of...
I've always
funding.
said, when I die, I want 6 of the most outstanding politicians of the country to come and be my pallbearers.
Right.
Just so they can let me down one last time. Anywho.
Yeah. I mean, one interesting story that's come out, it's not to do with your party, but sort of tangentially related in terms of themes, is this story coming out that there's issues with Labour Together, which was the campaign group.
Oh, this is another news. This is political news.
And they assisted with Sir Keir Starmer's... Yeah, political news. Sir Keir Starmer's leadership bid in the Labour Party.
Who's this group again?
Labour Together.
Labour Together.
Labour Together. Bringing back...
Progress
or whatever, yeah. Inside joke. The upshot is that they possibly received quite a large amount of funding, which wasn't declared to the Electoral Commission. And despite, this is all on Declassified, which is the YouTube channel that's doing quite a lot of good stories at the moment.
Yeah.
Verified journalism, sort of thing.
What, proper journalism?
Yes.
My God.
Investigative journalism.
Wow.
And the upshot is that they possibly sought advice from the Electoral Commission as well, saying, do we need to declare this money? And they said, yeah. And then they didn't. Allegedly.
Okay.
And allegedly, one of the leaders of this group of people...
Is it Peter Mandelson?
No. One of his mates, Mr. McGovern, who is Sir Keir Starmer's current chief of staff.
Mandy's mate.
Yeah. They're friends, apparently. So this is what the files declassified thing says. So I'm not... it's all allegedly and whatever. But this again is sort of, there's this sort of weird, I'm not conspiratorial at all, but you have to recognise when there's patterns. And there is this sort of weird dark art stuff going on that's coming to the fore. And it's quite sinister.
Do you think in a day and age with social media and a lot of information being able to be passed around quickly, that the days of the dark arts have pretty much gone now?
Possibly, I think, or it's becoming much more destructive. So if Mr. McGovern has done, I'm only saying Mr. McSweeney, sorry, not Mr. McGovern, whoever is Mr. McGovern is, I apologise. Mr. McSweeney, whatever he's, been up to, when he figures it out, when it gets figured out, it could destroy his career. It could, cause a massive reckoning within the Labour Party and the government. And this is the kind of thing that Sir Keir Starmer really doesn't need right now.
I mean, do you reckon in the last week has the controversial sort of furore against Keir Starmer calmed down? Has he timed it out?
We will have to see. I think that the difficulty there is that they're two quite different stories. It's the Minister McGovern, that's who I was thinking of. And it's nothing to do with her at all. The upshot is that if he doesn't get a grip on the people, the spads of his party, as it were, the political aides.
Right? Sorry, explain to people who don't know what spads are.
They're special advisors, so they're not part of the civil service. They're not part of the actual bureaucratic mechanisms of government. They are people appointed by Keir Starmer.
So in terms of people that loosely follow politics and just have a dabbling interest, if anybody watched Yes Minister, it's Mr. Weasel.
Yes,
Weisel. Yeah. It's one of them. Okay,
he's Weisel. Or in the thick of it, it's
Ollie,
and what's his name? The older chap.
Oh God, Glenn.
Yeah. So they're the spads.
My God, I have to use brain cell. I haven't seen that for a while.
That's it. Time for a rewatch. But Let's do a podcast rewatch of the. We could do that actually. Anyway,
What far more interesting,
episode by episode
Episode by
rewatch,
episode,
and talk about how SPADs have destroyed British
how it
government,
was satire at one
and
point,
now it's real,
and
now SPADs are being appointed as British ambassadors. So this is my view on this. Ollie's
been
appointed as a Brit. So Lord Mandelson
Yes.
was a SPAD. That was his role. He was a party person who operated within the political mechanisms.
Yes.
McSweeney is a chief of staff who was a SPAD and is now at the top of government. We've never really had chief of staffs before.
Well, I mean, you had
Cabinet
was
secretary
for Blair, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He was
Campbell
sort of
communication director. He
Yeah.
wasn't in charge of how his office, the office of prime minister, was run. That was sort of the cabinet secretary who did that, because the office of prime minister was the head of the cabinet.
yeah.
That was his purpose for a long time, his only purpose, really. And it's in this sort of presidentialization of our system that this has sort of happened.
Yeah. Well, that was Blair.
And now we've got McSweeney, who he seems very young to me. I don't, no judgment, but it seems like
Pensioners seem young to you.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But it seems to me that he's hopefully on the way out, because this is very dodgy what he's done. Allegedly.
Allegedly done. We'll see. We'll see how that one goes. I mean, what did I tell you? I think was it in last week's podcast that there will be something else dropped.
Oh yeah.
Before Labour conference, and that it will be drip. And if there is something Machiavellian going on, and someone is pulling the strings, something will be dropped.
And they're tying it. Yeah.
And
it has, and they're tying it all together. So every single article mentions that McSweeney knows Mandelson.
Yeah.
And there's that link there, and they've all been working together.
Yeah.
I mean, Mandelson's made it very clear that he spent every day getting rid of Corbyn. Presumably, he then carried on to make sure.
Sorry. You're not suggesting this is being masterminded by Jeremy Corbyn?
No, but I am now.
Ooh, conspiracy theories.
But without jumping off into the conspiratorial,
because I mean, it would be such a great disguise that in the same week that Jeremy Corbyn were to allegedly carry out this mastermind plan of bringing Keir Starmer's government down, that he also is part of a complete mess up in his potential future party.
Yes, which is ridiculous.
How are we going to split this program up today? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to have to be a short program anyway, because
we've got stuff on.
There's a lot of stuff on, and there's not huge amounts to talk about other than you can say Trump again and all of his silliness. Oh, you could say about the state of Palestine that has been recognised. Do you want to briefly talk about that?
Yes. It's interesting. There's been it looks coordinated, and I think it's coordinated in a sense of solidarity. Several countries have now recognised the state of Palestine as the sort of area that's currently controlled by the Palestinian Authority.
Has the UN made a motion?
No, because it operates differently, doesn't it? So the United Nations has Palestinian authorities have observer status in the United Nations, similar to the Vatican. Really, they're sort of recognised as an entity that exists.
Yeah,
but that requires a huge amount of diplomatic work. But we're in the right direction. The only difficulty for me is that recognising Palestine is sort of implicitly drawing towards the argument that there can be a two-state solution. And
should there be?
Yes. Well, there should be a solution.
Okay, Bernard.
And I think the problem with a two-state solution is we shouldn't forget that Israel have been militarily occupying both states for a very long time, and the idea that they're going
and not just those two, they're also in Yemen. They're also in.
They're doing a lot of
different areas,
and they're doing a lot of sort of pushing back on any idea that a two-state solution would work, because their emphasis as the most powerful state in this situation is there is going to be no Palestinian state. There is going to be Greater Israel, and that's not me saying that. That's the government of Israel says that currently. or members of it anyway.
I was listening to, I can't remember, one of the generals of the IDF. They genuinely, this is the viewpoint that I heard, was that it's only Israel that's standing up to Hamas and protecting the rest of the world from Hamas.
I think it would be...
What do you reckon? Is there any truth in that?
Well, I think that's a very typical view for a general to have, and they need to believe in their mission. I would contend that one of the reasons Hamas exists is because of the attitude in that territory by people in power to use militia to take control of territory. And both sides have done that. All sides have done that. Israel, one of the reasons Israel exists is because militia use the various forms of violence to take control of territory. For instance,
do you think, going back, I mean, sorry to cut in, but with regards to the recognition of Palestine, for people who are sort of struggling with the conversation, why is that important?
Because it acknowledges that an area that's currently occupied illegally in terms of international law by Israel is in fact a state and isn't just a territory of ambiguity. It makes it crystal clear that the countries involved in the situation, I think it's Canada, the UK and a few others, and France, have made it very, very clear. We now recognise that there's a state of Palestine, that the people within that state have a right to, declaration, have a right to, and therefore what Israel are doing is occupying a state unlawfully. And they're already unlawfully doing that. There's various resolutions.
Are there any legal consequences to that? Because if now we recognise as a country the state of Palestine, then surely an occupation like that, it now becomes necessary to bring sanctions, even if it's just country to country, against Israel.
I think that's possibly one of the reasons for doing it. I think it makes it easier to make that sort of justification. I mean, you can sanction Israel anyway. Ireland have been doing that.
Well, this is the point. I mean, do we now? Well, I apologise about that, ladies and gentlemen. Fine boys in blue doing their work outside.
Good stuff.
Continuing to do their work by the sounds of it. Oh no, there's a second one. No, he was turning around. He went the wrong direction. He's actually done a U-turn.
Still doing important work.
I lost my train of thought now. Where was I? Right, yeah. So it's the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So, like with what Ireland's doing, is it now necessary that Britain does start making points like we did with Russia, and Britain was one of the first to freeze a load of accounts of Russian oligarchs and supporters of Putin and the rest of it a few years ago. Is this going to happen now? Are they going to start freezing the bank accounts of Israeli firms working in Britain? Do you see that happening?
No, because of the climate's quite different in terms of the interweaving relationships between the various different governments and their politicians involved. But it sets the tone. So again,
hang on, are you telling me the difference is that the involvement of that particular government with our politicians is different from the Russian Federation's involvement with our politicians?
No, I'm suggesting...
I mean, if there was a parliamentary group called, Labour Friends of Russia, would that make it? Would that you say?
No. My tact is slightly different. I mean, that's a perfectly reasonable argument. But my tact is, Russia have been responsible for committing terrorist acts on our country. Novichok and whatever else. That has happened, and it's been proven to be the case that their government carried that out.
And Israeli forces haven't.
I don't think Israel have carried out any terrorism offences in the United Kingdom. I think that's a difference. I think there is a view that Israel is committing horrifying war crimes, allegedly. And what they're doing is slaughter. There's no bones about it. But Russia are... The difference is Israel may be accused, and they can be accused, and maybe historically be looked back on as a pariah state. So they did things at odds with the international norm. Russia are forming and becoming an anti-alliance to the West. So they're becoming the antagonist. They're becoming the enemy of the West. Whereas there is a desperation to keep Israel within the fold, which there isn't anymore with Russia. And that's the sort of difference on the global sort of politics level.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of international law, though, I think and I don't know enough about this offhand, without spending too much time on it. I think it makes it more powerful of a statement.
Yeah, I think it's a step forward.
Yeah, and international law is all about
even though just a question I'll put to you that I've seen put up on Facebook and obviously on the different pages and see how you respond to this one. Keir Starmer this week obviously announces that the United Kingdom is going to recognise the state of Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't he recognise the state of Britain first?
I'm sorry?
The argument is, how about concentrating on the people in this country first rather than other places?
Because governments can do more than one thing at once?
Yeah, but what about the boats?
The small boats?
Small boats.
I think.
Why don't they recognise the British people as being important?
I think that's. If I was going to take that question genuinely,
take it genuinely. There's people who believe in that.
Serious
problems.
They
believe that argument.
One of the reasons small boats are coming across in the way they are and in the frequency they are. One of the reasons we're dealing with one of the reasons they're dealing with this emergency mass migration across the world. This is a global problem, not just a UK problem. Is because we don't take seriously our responsibilities abroad, and that's a proven objective reality. When nations like the UK, Italy, France, whomever, don't take their responsibilities seriously in terms of what they're meant to do abroad as powerful countries, we then get the result, which is people fleeing those countries and coming here. And that's not my view, that's the policy of the Foreign Office. That's the way they approach these problems and deal with these issues. If you contend and argue that, well, we ought to be putting all the money that goes here into this pot and blah, 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 why haven't we been properly funding asylum processing for the last decade? Why haven't we been properly sorting out the distinctions between various different visas and various different rights of immigration? Why haven't we sorted out all of these problems, which can be sorted out with a bit of money and a bit of thought instead?
Yeah, why should our taxpayer money go towards this, though?
Because that's why you pay taxes. If you don't want to pay taxes, then be part of this country. That's the setup we have, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, but it's our country. Why should we have to pay taxes for foreigners like that?
I don't know. I think this all goes back to, doesn't it? This whole sort of broken glass theory. You know, if you don't, like, it's like benefits. If you don't give people benefits, they start to get hungry and start doing violent things that affect you in different ways. You know, one of the most critical and cynical arguments for why we give poor people money when they need it is because if you don't give poor people money when they need it, they start to take what they need off you. And it's a really good way of keeping society balanced and safe and conscientious towards each other. If, you know, like if we can put up shields and tidal waves and get the Navy to send the boats back or whatever, but the problem will just occur in a different way somewhere else. That's how these things happen. That's what goes on.
But Britain used to be great. We never used to have this problem.
What the asylum
immigration
problem?
Yeah.
Well, that's because we used to immigrate to other countries quite violently and condescendingly.
Yeah, I mean, we just went into countries and said, you belong to me now, and took them.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And that's possibly a simplistic reading of history, but
it's a very simplistic reading of history. But
if you don't acknowledge our past and don't just wave a flag and say we're great, you're missing half of the argument.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We'll that was a sample of the politics of this week of late September in not back in 63. It's 2025.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you just get the feeling this week has just been tiresome?
Yes, for different
Just
reasons.
tiresome.
But yeah.
I'm just. It's tiring. I don't know who I'm going to nominate for to be this week's immigrant to
Our country.
our country, to sit on the tree in the zoo on the island on the planet that's revolving.
Well, let's have a think, and we'll come back and make that decision.
I think so. Right then, humanoids, we are going to take a quick break now. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll be discussing who's coming into who's the fourth immigrant. Fourth immigrant into our country. We'll be discussing possibly Jimmy Kimmel. We'll be discussing also this week's Your Party news. And oh my God, I'm looking forward to that one.
It's hope. It's all hope. All hope. Hopeful.
Oh, I don't think this is a hopeful episode. We'll be discussing, and I'm going to start reading about in the break what this new membership thing is.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we'll see. We'll see. We'll just have a look. Which faction? Which 55 quid am I giving to who now? Which MP is going to take that 55 quid off me? We'll find out. Right. Back after this break, humanoids. Humanoids, welcome back to the Two Left Feet, the unofficial Your Party podcast. I'm Dafydd Vaughan, your host with a most, and I'm joined here by co-host
J. Oakes, Esquire.
Is that it? Is that You're not going to put any other letters around your name?
No, Esquire. I do have other letters around my name.
I know you have other letters around your name.
Yeah.
You have several other letters around your name.
I do. It's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. You earned those stripes.
Barely.
Yeah. Well,
no, that's doing a disservice to the people who do that coursework really hard. It shouldn't be so.
And a disservice to yourself.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to get some
Oh,
breakfast.
I'll go to break another chair in a minute. Go on.
Or doors, or microphones, or
Microphones.
headsets.
Headsets. Yeah.
Headset was last week you broke.
It's just a calm rage I have.
I mean, considering what's your general description? Quaker pacifist.
Yeah, Quaker, definitely.
Quaker, yeah.
Pacifist less and less by the day. But,
especially with everything going on, yeah.
Do you know what? It's becoming quite serious, not to go on a slight tangent before we get to the main meat of this section.
There is meat.
It's been a genuine sort of several friends of mine, really, Quakers. We're contending now with the issue of at what point do you have to take assertive action on what could be violence to stop
standing up
utter evil things happening.
Oh,
and that.
Oh, we're already at that point.
Yes, I think Quakers possibly have a bit more sort of resilience to that, and there's always a sort of fault line between Quakers who would have stepped in World War II and those who didn't and wouldn't.
But then, okay, I mean, if you're making comparisons to 100 years ago or 80 years ago, at what point is direct action?
Well, that's the question, and it's
are we there yet? I mean, I think we're pretty bloody close.
I think that's why that question's been asked, because most, I don't want to speak for others, but a lot of people of my persuasion, religiously and politically and ethically, would say we're very, very close now, and we're at a similar point as in 1936, between 1936 and 1941, of when something has to be done. That's not just peaceful resistance.
Before we go to the Our Country segment, what do you reckon could be the Franz Ferdinand moment?
Well, it may have already happened. We don't know. The thing is, like World War One, they wouldn't have known at the time that the Franz Ferdinand assassination would have led to the Great War. And they didn't know that the invasion of Poland would have led to the total war that was World War II. We don't know yet whether we've already had that trigger.
The recognition of Palestine.
Quite possibly.
At what point?
I think that's the major point for the people I've been speaking to. The major sort of point was, well, when do Israel have to be stopped? When does the IDF and the state of Israel now? I'm not talking about,
The rest of
there are many victims of war, including often the perpetrators. When does something have to be done? That is the international community or other belligerents stepping in and saying, no, we're going to stop you now using force.
Which war?
What do you mean, which war?
Well, which war? Which war is going to kick off first? There's already
war happening.
The war in the Middle East?
There's the war in the Middle East. Israel's
the war with the East?
Yeah. So there's the Russian conflict, the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. There's the
right-left
Israel-Gaza conflict. Well, maybe that's a better way of analysing it as well. We could do a whole podcast on this. But yeah, is it the breakdown between establishment neoliberalism and right-wing neo-fascism, in my view? Is it that's going to cause this big seismic conflict?
At what point is it actually civil war that we're going to be talking about?
Civil war is
an all-out civil war.
What, in this country?
In every country. In every Western country, certainly.
There's a civil war being conducted in, I think, Sudan at the moment, and it's any time there's especially in the modern era where access to highly dangerous weaponry is very easy. It causes the fabric of society to tear apart. It's not the same as a military conflict, even in the modern era. If that's how people feel that we're heading towards some.
Well, I mean, there's already troops on the ground in Chicago.
Yes. Yeah.
There's military people with guns. Basically.
Do you know what? That's quite upsetting. We bought an ornament for a special occasion recently, which was handcrafted in Illinois.
Yeah.
Which is where Chicago is.
Chicago, Illinois, indeed, the Windy City.
And I do look at it sometimes and think, gosh, it's kicking off over there in a way that can't be imagined.
This is the thing. Are we one election away from not having to imagine it?
Yeah, and this is where I'm talking about sort of historical relativism and presentism.
But they'll get things done, though, won't they?
Yeah, but they also won't. So one of the tricks of neo-fascism, and I'm saying it out loud now and talking about it, because it's real, is they're very good at getting things done, but they're also very good at creating constant crisis, because that's how they carry on in power.
Yeah.
So all these people now who are thinking, oh, they're going to get stuff done, they're going to get it all sorted out, you'll never feel like that.
No.
From now on, you'll feel constant turmoil and chaos.
Which it has been for the last 10 years, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
it'll ramp up. It can always get worse. Don't ever think it can't get worse. And Farage is a perfect example. When you dig into what he's saying and you start picking apart what he's saying, he doesn't say, oh, well, of course, there's red lines and blah, blah, blah. He doubles down. And it will never stop. He will never, ever stop on the people he thinks he wants to remove from this country. And it will get worse and worse and worse until he does outright say, well, this is a native country for native Britons who are white and blah, 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 and all that nonsense. And dangerous nonsense. And he'll sound exactly like Nick Griffin sounded like 10 years ago, except now the people around him accept it and the news accept it. And Starmer has to respond to it and whatever. And that's where we're at.
Genuinely has to respond with the whole... Because I've listened to someone who... And I don't mean listened intermediate. I mean in personal sort of proximity. And they showed me a video, well, today actually, of these right-wing influencers.
Mm-hmm.
And the speech they're using, it is absolute blatant. They are using the terms hatred of a group, the inferiority of a group. They're saying the language they're using, and I'm thinking about propaganda videos from the 1930s in Germany, and I'm going, it's the same language.
Yeah,
that is the same language.
It is now.
And the thing is, I asked the question, and you're not disgusted by the fact that a whole group of people are being tarred in that way? No, it's true. It's truth. it has become so normalised that this language, and I've got to say there are people who should know better who are not getting in on that kind of language, but they're doing nothing to help it.
No, and I think this is where I've sort of urged people when because they're talking about counter arguments. What counter arguments can we get against this sort of prevailing right wing viewpoint? Excuse me. And
But you can't argue in that way.
no, and you have to find points of agreement.
Yes, and
points
but
of,
then a
that's really
different
hard, though.
a different way of putting it to them. Because I've sort of stated, because I said in a your party meeting recently, one of the things that a lot of activists and people that are now forming we'll talk about whichever group in a minute, you're going to have to do and have to understand, one, the media is not the enemy.
No.
The media are there for their own ends, absolutely their own ends. They're a commercial entity. Most media outlets are trying to sell papers, trying to sell advertisement space.
They're tools in more ways than one.
And
that's
yes, okay, they have proprietors and people who do have a slant, but generally proprietors go, oh, I like that kid. Yeah, back him, and that's it. Yeah, okay, you can see them blatantly that those organisations are then skewing everything. But in terms of an editor and a proper journalist, they will allow for space, even in the most horrific of rags. They will allow space if there is something to be said.
Yeah,
they'll put their own slant on it. And you wouldn't expect any different. I would expect that if your party candidate or elected person were to say something like, I believe in free education for all at any age, and we're going to fund that. And I'd love for that to be a policy.
Yeah.
Then the Daily Mail will come out, well, this means that your tax is this, whatever they want to put onto it. My argument, and I said, and everybody in the meeting went, oh, no, they'll never be our friend. They'll never say anything like that. It doesn't matter, because as soon as you take up those column inches or that TV space or whatever else, it means that the conversation moves on to a different subject. At the moment, we're in a whirlpool. We're in a whirlpool of this immigration, foreigners, evil brown people, which is generally, it is that the conversation is, and evil Islamic people. And the conversation is that they're all tarred with this brush, and nobody has any redeeming features if they're a part of that group.
Yeah.
I have tried, and I will continue to try to sort of say, right, reframe the argument. Reframe the reason why these people can be beneficial in a way that they will understand. Because it's communication again. I think the Labour Party are horrifically poor at communication. They just do things and railroad policies into place because they seem to think that a very contentious mandate is a mandate to govern all with an iron rod.
That's interesting.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, I just see them as pathetic. I see them as not brandishing the wheels of power that they hold.
Oh, no, they do.
Oh, okay.
But they have not brandishing the wheels of power. Some of the laws they've brought into being.
That's true. Well, no, but they did that. What they're using laws.
They're using laws.
Extreme extent.
I'm not saying they're not being efficient,
but they're not doing the seismic changes that are needed
because they're not communicating with the people that it affects. If you're talking about the winter fuel allowance, I don't necessarily disagree that it did need reforming and that it needed adjusting, because it's a far, things have moved on in 25 years since it came in.
Yeah,
it absolutely needed reforming. It absolutely needed adjusting and tinkering with. But just to abolish it and then not put anything else in place.
Well, this is it. You need to look at the root and stem issue, which is expensive energy prices. That's a
different subject.
Yeah.
What I'm sort of saying is,
no, but it's the same subject.
It's the communication.
Yes, yeah.
Of telling people, right, instead of saying it's going to be banned from April 1st, or any of those policies or any of their attitudes, they hold the general public of the United Kingdom in contempt for being too stupid to understand.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That
Yeah.
is the crux of it. And you have all these people who are angry about the state of the standard of their living now that a wealth gap is being, the wealth gap's massive now. And people are seeing this, and they are putting blame onto people that they're being told to put blame on.
That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the government in charge of the mechanisms and all these levers of power
Well, this is it.
are refusing to communicate.
And no leader, and this is not just this government, it's been going on for a while, no leader in the last 20 years has explained to the general population, honestly, you can be against immigration all you want, but if we don't have it, our economy melts.
It disappears.
That's what
the
will
NHS
happen.
dies. Not just the NHS,
Every
any medical
industry.
Facility.
Well, yeah.
Anything, because you still need those workers in private
it.
or public healthcare. So, or in education, or
Our economy is a service, retail, finance-based economy. If you don't, and without enough people growing up and becoming workers, so we need immigration. And no one, no leader, no government has been honest about that. They don't just say it because I don't know why, but but that's the big question, isn't it?
Because we are in a age of sound bites.
Yeah.
Because ever since 83, it's a world of sound bites from politicians.
Yeah.
Every politician, because it was Michael Foot. Michael Foot did a horrific sort of, no, I've always done it this way kind of campaigning. I will always do it this way. And that's one thing, okay, that the Labour Party then realising they needed to move with the times, because Maggie was coming out with proper sound bites, the lady is not for turning, and all that
Genius.
well, good marketing. You think the decade before, and on the Wilson was great for TV, but that was about it. They were still in this era of, well, we'll have to tell the home truths to the public. Ted Heath used to go and tell the home truth. Callaghan would say it. Go back even further. You go back to all the Tory PMs with the bad guts and that era of...
The attitude at the time was, we're going to carry out, and they did huge reforms.
Yeah.
They got rid of the death penalty, they set up the NHS, all sorts of things.
Massive.
And they did it because they knew it was good for society,
Yes.
and they didn't care the response they got. Now, there were downsides and the financiers and whatever else, and we had some grave economic hardships. But the response to that isn't then to just destroy society. Sorry, we're getting very broad brush now, but
It is
to
broad
destroy society with short-termism and sound bites. One of Thatcher's great phrases, which is absolute bollocks, is absolute nonsense. Is there's no such thing as society, only individuals and their families. And what an absolute destructive thought process.
But then this is the result of it.
Yeah.
This is what we're living in today is the result of that attitude.
Oh yeah, and if you can switch it around to the right as well and say, well, all of this identity stuff comes out of that thought process.
Yeah, individual.
The idea that you need to define yourself and have an absolute certainty as to your identity and to express that to your society, which doesn't exist. It is necessary because of that viewpoint.
Yeah.
And that's so the destruction of the idea that we're in this together and building and blah 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 blah, is anyway, Dav, perhaps we can do better in our country. What do you think?
I don't know about that. Our or our?
Our country. Let's get back to the segment.
Yeah, we have gone off on a slight tangent there, but it's an important thing because the people who are listening to us now, they're all generally your party supporters and members from across the country. I just implore everybody, don't understand where we are in politics, and especially the country as it now. There's a lot of angry people. They're not necessarily bad people in their ways, but they're pointing blame at places. And we just need to reframe the argument. And we just need to go on maybe a little exercise amongst all your little branches and groups and everything, and role play. Have someone like I do with you, and I'll come out with some of the comments and views and things that get said from the right, and learn how to challenge it and put an argument towards them that they will understand and be able to
Well, that anyone would
respectfully-
understand.
that-
You know,
that-
if
right,
you,
yeah, but there's a difference between an argument with someone on the left and someone on the right. To argue a point to convince someone on the
Yeah.
left, you only need to appeal to their empathy and appeal to their sense of justice, and that's enough.
Okay.
To appeal to someone on the right, you have to also appeal to their sense of economy and their sense of lawfulness, because on the right, the mindset is more that what's
I appreciate that. I wonder
natural
if
justice,
they're if they're shades of the same thing, but perhaps that's an academic debate. I think
because I
yeah.
don't think people on the left worry about the economy side of it. It's not about the money, because money is a man-made concept, and property is theft and all that kind of ideology. What's more important is actual human suffering shouldn't be allowed to carry on in whatever circumstances.
Sure.
On the right, the acknowledgement is human suffering will come out from the collapse of economy. So actually, there's a finite amount of resources for a finite amount of people that can be helped. And the argument to the people on the right is, why should these people be helped?
Yeah, over me.
Over anyone.
So, yeah.
So tell them how helping that person is going to benefit them personally.
Yeah.
Because it's selfish.
And you can go down the selfish road that I argued earlier.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's the fantastic quote, John Green, who's a prop, quite a lefty. He writes a lot of kids books actually, but or young adult fiction. But he does do you know the Vlog Brothers on YouTube? He's one of the Vlog Brothers. But anyway, and
check them out.
Yeah. They've been going for a long time. They don't need more support. But
what, you don't think that the countless numbers of people and listeners to the Two Left Feet wouldn't move the needle slightly on their viewing figures?
Hey, we'll see. Go ahead, please do.
So.
And but he said, the reason I pay my taxes and I'm happy for it to be funded for people's education is because I don't like living in a country with stupid people. And that's quite a stark, liberal, arrogant way of putting it, but it's true. You don't have to look very far to a country which didn't have the method of government that we have, where the benefits of it, or where they disappear, the benefits don't become pretty clear to see. I mean, America without the NHS is a good example, but yeah.
No, good point. Right, okay. Shall we get back on task, because we're coming to the end of this segment, and we haven't even discussed who's in our country this week. Who is sitting on the branch of the tree in the zoo, on the island, on the planet that is our country? Jay.
Oh yeah.
Who's your nomination this week?
I'm going to nominate Donald Trump. President Donald Trump.
President Donald Trump. You do surprise me.
Yes.
And why are you putting old Donald Dunce up for? Because this is the thing we've said the last couple of weeks is he shouldn't be left alone with half the people already in that zoo. Because in there, you've got Mandy who'll suck up to him. Well, Nigel suck up to him. Nigel suck up to him. Mandy might not. We've got Paul Overton in there, and you want to put Donald in with them. Do you think that's fair on the three?
I think
I'm also noticing very male orientated at the moment.
Oh, we can fix that in future, I'm sure.
Do you think there should be a gender balance on who's in our country?
No, I think the people in our country would object to that for some reason.
Oh, right.
I think they would want a model which is the best people get to
the
our
best
country.
The best,
or the worst people, depending on the
best
metrics.
Nominees
should
for
prevail.
our country should get onto the tree. Okay.
I want the listeners to understand why I'm being particularly vitriolic against Donald Trump this week, to Google Tylenol and see what comes up, because all of that comes up now is Tylenol is not dangerous and doesn't cause autism.
No, there was a study last year that basically concluded that I think their sample catchment was 2.5 million
Yeah.
people. And
Well, Tylenol is paracetamol.
it's paracetamol, yeah.
So everyone takes it all the time.
Yes,
you
it's probably one of the most safest drugs ever produced.
Yeah, and it doesn't cause autism, whatever Donald Trump says.
Well, that him and what's his the Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
who
and,
seems to have some.
Well, a worm ate part of his brain. Did you know that?
Sorry,
A worm ate
Yeah.
part of his brain.
and what defecated it out,
I
and,
don't-
and that's what he uses now.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I think what it is, it's describing how, he's a dangerous man in more ways than one, and it isn't just having the nuclear button. It's his ability to say things,
Silly
requiring
things.
requiring responses. Serious people writing. There is no link between autism and paracetamol,
Yeah.
and obviously, because we would all have autism if that's the case. And they said it specifically in relation to pregnancy. So people who take paracetamol during pregnancy, their kids are more likely to become
Which is
autistic.
probably one of the very few pain relief
available. Yeah,
drugs to pregnant women available.
that's it. And it has very, very good reasons why women should be allowed to take paracetamol during pregnancy.
Yeah, but
during
a 70-something-year-old man is telling you that.
Yeah.
That's
and it's all part of this fabric of quite these things perhaps that we don't notice straight away. RFK Jr. has been, saying various things about autism and ADHD and various other things.
Do you think he's just trying to blame someone for his down?
I don't know, but when he starts saying things like we need to put them all in camps, that's the kind of thing where you think, oh, is this going to be?
This is what I said before.
Are these going to be the victims? And I'm as many listeners may have realised, I'm part of that group, and it's quite tricky to think that
Consider the fact that right.
I have a bias.
But there's a bias. But then there's the whole thing of we are not America. As much as people seem to think through media and what I've heard in recent protests and things, people seem to think that we have some sort of we're governed by America somehow. We're not. We're a sovereign nation. We took control. We took our country back.
You say this, but and I agree broadly, but he'll say nonsense like that and have the power to do it. I mean, over here the government is seriously considering putting vulnerable asylum seekers in military camps to protect the public. That's the prevailing.
To protect who?
To protect the public,
because they're saying to protect the asylum seekers.
Well,
from the public.
Yes. Well, you say potato and tomato and whatever, but
you say Auschwitz.
Yes. And the result is the same. It's the concentration and subjugation of a minority group, and it's such a toxic situation that you even get left-wing speakers such as Aaron Bastani completely missing the point. When an asylum seeker is convicted of serious offences that lead him to a custodial sentence of 12 months in prison, that doesn't mean it's okay for everyone to say, well, we were right to protest these hotels then. We were right to say that these people are a danger to young women and girls. You have to create a logical distinction between criminals and the groups in which they happen to belong to. And if we don't get back to a basic level of what bigotry is and what racism is, and why things that RFK Jr. says in America and why things the British government says over here are linked and why they are destructive and lead to minorities being damaged. If we don't have that, then we don't have liberal democracy anymore. And that's why President Trump should be put on
into our country.
Yeah.
Okay. My nomination...
It's destroying democracy, that's what I'm saying.
That's fine. My nomination is Benjamin Netanyahu.
Wow. Okay.
And all I'm going to say, I'm not going to litigate as you have done so eloquently about Donald Trump or Donald Dunstan is Tylenol or paracetamol to us. I'm just going to say over 70,000 recorded deaths, over 80% confirmed civilian deaths in one of the most horrific areas and war zones of the world, and completely unnecessary. And that's it. Benjamin Netanyahu.
It's hard to argue against that in favour of
Tylenol.
Tylenol.
That's the reason why you've asked to put him in this week.
Yes, because
of all the reasons that you could have brought against,
I think,
the way he eats spaghetti.
Gosh, we've gone a bit heavyweight, though, haven't we? We've got someone who's destroying the fabric of liberal democracy, and someone who's
destroying the world.
Who's killed 70,000 people. Allegedly.
Recorded.
Well, recorded.
No,
yeah.
they have died.
Yes, but it's whether he himself is responsible for that or not. So.
It depends. I mean,
well,
did he give the orders out to the IDF to go and kill him?
Well, there is a very competent court and set of jurisdiction which are deciding that right now.
Yeah. Which we've so far ignored as a country.
Yes, to an extent. Some of our brilliant barristers are over there arguing on behalf of other countries. So that's what? That's allowed? What? Why are you looking at me like that?
What do you mean? Which barristers are arguing for who?
Well, barristers can be instructed by anyone for anyone. So he's not a barrister actually, he's a professor of law, but he's practiced. Is it Wilde? I can't remember his name. But he made a fantastic speech about why the entire basis for the occupation of Palestine is completely illegal and unlawful. And that's useful in that kind of context, because you don't want to get into sticky sort of legal arguments about why it was justified to kill 70,000 people. So it was useful to. But there's other lawyers as well who I can't remember their names, but there's the legal community across the world, but the bar. I mean,
just to give an idea for people out there, that is basically the murder of every single person who sits in Old Trafford every weekend to watch football. So if you ever been to Old Trafford or the Emirates, which is slightly less, that's about 66,000. Old Trafford's about 75,000. So anyone who goes to Old Trafford and sees it full, just look around, because that is how many people have been murdered so far.
Mm-hmm. It is amazing.
And it's so far.
And many of them are children as well, of course.
Yeah.
Which, whatever the Israeli government says are innocent, it has to be said.
Well, they never voted for Hamas.
No one voted for Hamas to do what they're doing now.
Do you know when the last election was? That
2007.
2006.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. We covered this in
20 years
podcasts ago.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly.
Most of the victims of this horrific, genocide are under 20 years old. They never even had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu. Who's your pick? Donald or Benny?
I don't think I've ever got my nomination through because I mean, Donald Trump supports Netanyahu and what he does. One of the reasons Netanyahu is able to do what he does is because of Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
But arguably, Netanyahu will be doing what he's doing.
You all right over there?
I'm just regurgitating it, having to decide between two evil people. We ought to call people evil more. I think that's one of the problems. I think
it's language that might have been effective a long time ago, but
let's bring it back. Like he's Netanyahu is a nasty evil. I mean, he's in the courts in his own country for corruption. This is what we have to remember. He's a nasty piece of work all round. I mean, President Trump is a nasty piece of work, but I think you've posed a rather. We could put both of them in. Is that an option?
No,
it has to be one or the other.
No, it's one or the other.
Does
rules are rules?
Does Trump dodge it again? Does he dodge the inevitability?
Yes, the president, that surname sounds like a fart, is possibly dodging this one.
Like he's dodged so many other things.
Yeah,
allegedly.
He's dodging our country like he's dodging.
It does seem like that.
All sorts of alleged things.
But can we countenance Netanyahu to be allowed into? Isn't he quite dangerous to be allowed into?
Well, I mean, he's big mates with Mandy.
He is. Is he?
Isn't he?
Netanyahu Mandelson.
Well, I thought Mandelson was in Labour Friends of Israel.
I don't care. Fine.
Wasn't he?
Maybe, probably, I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I thought there was a thing there. And Nigel, well, he's the right coloured kind of foreigner, so he's all right with him. And, well, Paul can just serve the tea. I mean,
Poor Paul. He's not part of the big hit here.
No,
he's
not.
Yeah.
He's there as one of the followers.
Yes, it's rather unfair for Paul now, the leader of a massive, horrific right-wing movement, mates with a paedophile,
The Dark Lord
himself, and a genocidal maniac allegedly, and someone who sent a very nasty email several years ago. So,
it's a bit more than that.
It is definitely more
It's
than
a
that. No,
slightly
but
more
it's not genocide, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not genocide.
Why?
Why are you thinking Paul's going to get released on appeal?
Do we have an appeal process? Or...
Well, I think we should. I mean, this is fairness, isn't it? That's what we stand up for.
No, we can say you don't have a right to appeal. That's absolutely it's our country.
Oh. Well,
hey, apparently appeals in this country, they cause all sorts of problems. They prevent growth.
they do prevent
The appeal
growth.
process in our country, in our country now,
Oh, our.
destroy the economy. Apparently, people's rights to have the legal question looked at again is
What are you
problematic.
referring to there?
I'm referring to there's a series of instances in government where from the Prime Minister downwards, they're trying to limit our appeal system to prevent people from being able to appeal as often as they can, and this relates into
Well,
planning.
isn't that the gross underfunding of the legal services?
Yes,
Partly to do with that.
Yes,
Isn't it?
I mean, I missed the deadline, unfortunately, but there was a legal essay that was available that people could draft a competition.
Oh, right.
And and I thought, I can't enter this because it would just be me explaining why underfunding the civil legal system is why this is happening. It's not an issue of appeals. It's an issue of the fact that appeals take so long to sort out. I think Benjamin Netanyahu should definitely be in there. It's a shame that Trump has dodged the boat again, as it were, the trip to but he'll find his way there eventually, won't he?
Hey, he gets on his own boats, doesn't he? Very stormy.
Yeah.
Very stormy weather those boats go through. So we're saying this week's immigrant into our country sitting on the latest branch is BB Benjamin Netanyahu. Well done, Benny. Well done. If that's the only thing he could deserve is to be locked away on an island. Right then. All the humanoids out there, we're going to take a break and we'll be back with your party news right after this. See you in a moment. Welcome back, humanoids, to the Two Left Feet, your party's unofficial podcast. I keep saying it in different ways until it actually sounds right.
I thought you were going to say until they get set up.
Well, until, what name, which faction, who knows. I'm your host, Dafydd Vaughan, joined alongside with my co-host with the most, the consigliere of the Two Left Feet. His name is...
Jabez Oakes.
You sound like one of those automated systems, but...
I am. I'm not real. I'm AI. I'm not...
Robotron
Yeah.
Chewbacca wannabe.
That's it.
There you go. Right, we mentioned before, quick mention about Jimmy Kimmel. So talking about Donald Duns again this week, he said he would get Jimmy Kimmel taken off air in America, and he did.
He did.
He
definitely.
did. Because of what?
Because Jimmy Kimmel said, I can't remember exactly what he said, and I don't want to misphrase him, but he talked about the death of Charlie Kirk. In a very sort of not academic, but very sort of
broad
brush sort of way, which was
and
a little.
And it was. I watched it and I watched it back, and it wasn't really that much. He basically just said, it's disappointing to see that people are using it on both sides to say and claim, well, the killer, the murderer was this, the murderer was that, and that was it. And his basic point was stop using it. Stop using
sort of thing a late night host would say.
Yeah, stop using the murder of someone, and it's an assassination, it's murder.
Yes,
and the murderer
it's
just a murderer.
Yeah,
stop trying to use his motives to claim the position of a whole group of people with different opinions.
And this is it, isn't it? I mean,
and that was it.
Yes,
and he left her alone, and off he went. Thing is, I listened to not listened to on media.
Because this has touched you, this story, in I haven't really.
What?
Well, you've sort of you mentioned this.
Oh, I mentioned
you
it.
wanted
I
it to
mentioned
be on
it.
the podcast.
I mentioned it for this reason because little right winger that I talked to sent me video. Well, didn't send me videos. Basically said that what he'd viewed on his echo chamber videos was that Jimmy Kimmel was pushing out fake news,
right?
And that he'd put something about a T-shirt that he'd edited so it said MAGA on the front.
Okay.
And he put a picture of that up on the show.
Right.
Which I looked at the show and I was expecting, I'd heard from him first before watching the clip of what Jimmy Kimmel said.
Yeah.
And I watched the clip and it wasn't there. And I was expecting him to make like some of these comedians do, that they'll take, and look, he's wearing a donkey helmet.
Or they try and do a funny. They might
try and do it funny.
Yeah.
Try and do a funny out of it. And supposedly his funny was that the murderer was wearing a MAGA T-shirt.
Okay.
Was the thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why the right are angry is because that's fake news, because he's doctored a photo and it doesn't have that on.
He's a comedian.
Anyway,
yeah, I'm not going to...
They're not going down that.
The lengths.
But
yeah.
That's what he saw.
And that's what...
And that's the belief. And in his context, absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because the context is that what Jimmy Kimmel was trying to say don't do is exactly what has been done.
Yeah.
And the reason why he got taken off air. Because on the right side of it, on the the MAGA side of it, they went, "Oh, how dare you put a T-shirt like that and then purport it as news?" When he wasn't a MAGA guy.
Yeah. But
that's
not news. I know.
That's what's riled them up, because there are influencers online somewhere putting that out.
And that's what they do. I mean, I rejoined Twitter the other day.
Oh, God.
Because I wanted to keep track of what was happening with your party, because, I help run a podcast where we talk about
Blue
your
Sky.
party. Yeah. Yes, I'm on. I am
Blue
still
Sky.
on Blue Sky. I can't post anything or comment for various reasons, but I wanted to
View.
keep track of what was happening. And it's amazing.
Reader, are we,
how, yeah, well, fine. Yes.
You're one of those, them there readers?
What, read things? Yes, I do read.
Do you
read?
Sorry, in my head I've got... Do you ever remember Bill Hicks?
Yes. Yeah.
So he did, what you reading? No, what you reading for?
Right, yeah.
Not what are you reading? Not what am I reading now?
Yeah.
But what am I reading for? Yeah. Well, maybe to get some sort of evaluation. So I don't have to become like a waffle waitress like you.
This is it. I joined Twitter to read a specific thing for a specific purpose, and you can't read Twitter unless you're on Join Twitter. And the amount of right-wing sort of lies.
It's horrific.
It's absolutely terrifying. And it's like, how? No wonder people just...
But it's
constant
drip,
stream
drip,
of
drip,
stuff.
drip,
Yeah.
drip. And the person that I talk to, it's constant.
Yeah.
It's drip,
All
drip,
of this
drip.
stuff.
And every video that gets linked and shared, the algorithm, and this social media algorithm needs sorting out.
Yeah.
That is causing...
It's
so
very
much,
worrying.
horrific amounts.
Well,
of
I tell you what, I haven't mentioned or really thought about Charlie Kirk's death, but I did watch a debate he did at Oxford, the Oxford Union.
Yes, I saw a couple of those.
The Cambridge Union, I can't remember.
Cambridge, I think.
Cambridge Union, and he made a joke. He and his opponent made a joke about this, and it was quite a nice moment in quite a fraught set of discussions.
It was a great debate.
It was, and he said, and he said, "Oh, I'm sure your guys are going to be able to."
Is this the professor that came up?
No,
or is it
before that? It's one of the younger chaps.
Yeah,
and he said, "I'm sure one of your guys are going to be able to clip this and say Charlie Kirk destroys whatever."
Yes, yeah,
and no, Charlie Kirk eviscerates,
destroys,
and
annihilates.
Charlie Kirk responded by going, "Oh no, we'll use the word destroy," and that was quite
in a jokey fashion. Yeah.
And so even the great and the good of the right wing thinkosphere, if you like, know
Influences.
this. Yeah, and and bless him, and it's.
Do you reckon we'll become influencers in some respects?
God, I hope not.
Imagine
I can't imagine
that.
anything worse.
Imagine what would we be influencing? Would you just what
sandwiches?
Reason thought.
How you make sandwiches
with crisps and salad cream.
You put on an imaginary island.
Yeah, that's true.
And vague analysis of
and
ideology.
Try and maybe go and think for yourself.
Yeah, and don't worry so much. But no, so what happened next with Jimmy Kimmel? Because you've been keeping track of.
I haven't been keeping track, but
Yeah.
Supposedly that after fallout and his cancellation and blah blah blah, several, something like 400 actors. Basically stated to Disney, who are the parent company of ABC, who put his show on, basically said, we're not working for you anymore. And we're done. And
so
then
they striked.
They basically threatened strike.
Yeah.
And writers and all sorts of things, because this was seen as a move on free speech. Under the
freedom of speech.
Free speech, man.
No, it's freedom of speech. There's a difference, but we can discuss that another time.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're getting charged a penny a letter.
It's freedom of speech. Free speech is different. Anyway, whatever. Certainty.
Anywho, freedom of speech, man. First Amendment rights. And actually, I quite agree with them, because when I heard it from me right wing sort of go-to, I was actually they're right. I think they're right on this one. You can't do that.
No.
You can't put up doctored pictures and claim it to be truth. That's not right. And then when you actually watch the clip, it doesn't have it.
No.
It's not there. And then everything else falls in place. And then then this is an absolute attack on free speech, and they're going after the jesters first.
That's it. Because it's easy.
Because they're the ones that are making mockery of the court.
And it's worth remembering. I mean, what's worked is money talks, and that strikes always work. That's the problem.
I mean, but it's was it reported potential loss? It could have been about $3.5 billion to
money
Disney
talks at the end of the day.
And they've had just. And the thing you said, I haven't seen the clip of it because Kimmel's back on the air now.
Yeah,
I think they immediately got him back on the air.
Yeah.
Then you said he cried and
he apologised for, and I think he's probably correct to apologise. He used perhaps slightly clumsy language for.
He's a comedian.
When talking about a chap who's just died.
But I mean,
so,
okay. If this is the case,
but we didn't apologise.
Why are comedians? And I don't like the form. I don't particularly like Jimmy Kimmel anyway, as an entertainer.
No,
because I don't think he's good enough.
Yeah,
I mean, he's on par with what was his name, James Corden.
Sure.
I think he's all.
Well, he shouldn't have had a show.
He shouldn't have.
No.
I think he's on that level.
Yeah.
To me, not that entertaining anyway. If he was taken off air for any other reason, I'd probably agree with it.
Yeah.
But only because I don't think he's funny.
It wasn't an apology for what he said. It was an apology that people thought he said what.
Yeah, but there's the thing.
Yes, and that makes sense now that you've explained that.
The social media aspect. And
the tearful part was when he said, I would never denigrate the death of a young person and who has a family and whatever, and that's absolutely right. But yeah, so problem solved, right? Except, I mean, as I said just before we went on air, Stephen Colbert is still set to be cancelled.
But then
Trump is threatening to sue ABC now because of this.
Getting caught.
Fine.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is everyone so scared?
Perhaps we'll talk about the American court system another time, but it's that's absolute chaos at the moment as well.
But at least then you can go down fighting, and if that's the case, then ABC and Disney, it's Disney that's backing them.
Yeah.
What, Trump is going to go after an organisation that has the third largest navy in the world.
He won last.
It's official, that.
Yeah, he won last time against ABC. $16 million settlement. I don't know what for, but yeah. But,
drop in the ocean for those people.
But this is the weakness of the right wing.
And the thing is, you just said it's settlement.
Oh yeah, well
they just settled. They didn't even bother going to court, and the court system over there is just they throw litigation around like they're trying out different ice creams. They'll throw as what was it, mischievous lawsuit that because it's free to do and there's no consequences of raising a lawsuit that people just do it willy nilly anyway.
I can't remember the word, it begins with V, but yeah.
Right, moving on from that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm glad that at least Jimmy's got a chance to go back on air to them.
But the story's not over, is my point.
No, the story's not over. No, because it's going to be
yeah.
I mean,
I hope we're describing each podcast the tapestry
of what's going. Yeah, because
that's going.
Because I'd like to go back in 5 years' time when it's all calmed down and for
we hope.
Yeah, I said that 5 years ago. Said that 10 years ago.
Yes.
And it just keeps ramping up. Okay, when has politics ever been, not lively? There's always been things going on. I mean, probably, and without sounding too jokey, the probably best time in politics in recent years is probably somewhere between 99 and middle of 2001.
I was just about to say there was a brief period.
There was like
where things felt okay. Yeah.
Whether the biggest news stories of the time was, is it humane to lock people in a house for the whole summer and film them?
Yeah. Yes.
That was it. Should fox hunting be banned? Yes, it should. And then we're at this.
How dare you? Sorry.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're a part of the elite, aren't you? Get blooded up and all that. Enjoy your brandies and your rums while you're quaffing down
It's a disgusting blood sport. And
anyway, we're not getting into that one. So there you go. So democracy in action, strike action, whatever, and it's come to fruition. Which then leads us on to democracy in action in this country, and whose side are you gonna take? Do you take the side of one side and one party with their views, or the side of the other group with their views? And which membership do you sign up to? Who do you give your £55 to? As I've found out now, what is it? 100 and something across the year?
£5 a month is the new regular rate, as it were.
£5 a month. So,
yeah.
So they've upped it a £5, so that's 60 quid. Is it? No. I've done my maths wrong there, haven't I? No, 60 quid for the year for a £5. I'm right.
I don't disagree. I
wasn't
contending at all.
But then is that regular rate, or because I've seen someone saying they're paying £10 a month?
Yeah, no, because you can decide how much you pay.
Oh, right,
yeah. So there's the minimum, and then there's concessionary, for which is £1.50, and then you can pick which one you're happy to donate, which other parties don't do, and maybe they should. Well, maybe some parties do. I don't know, but there's a sort of
no, they don't, because they don't want people on the low end to be politically active like that.
Yeah,
that's why other parties bump their membership up to £20-something a month.
It's worth noting. I know we haven't unpacked it yet, but it's worth noting that the first membership portal,
for that side,
is still up.
Yes, but none of the links work.
No, hang on. Let me click. I cannot perform this action anymore.
No, so it's there, but it's not there.
Great, how embarrassing. To leave that up, but there we go.
Well,
just relink it.
All of the no, because that's now a different account that goes to a different place.
And now we're touching on why this whole thing is so infuriating.
And there's a different group in charge now. The people who were there last week are no longer there. There's new people coming in. There's people who've been named that have called the problems with it. Then other people are named and said no, they're not a problem. And then the people
Can you explain to me?
Oh God, don't go on.
Can you explain to me why I shouldn't regard this whole thing as something to stay absolutely away from now?
Do you know what I've not done today?
What?
Is sign up.
Oh no, I'm not signing up.
I'm going to give it a couple of days.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Who they when the first announcement was made for the first membership,
Yeah.
we don't need to explain it, do we? Because everyone listens.
Everybody listening knows what's going on.
I've got a few of the statements up in case we need to refer to them. But the upshot is a friend of mine who said they've never joined a political party in their lives. They've always been interested in politics. They're from different. They've been on different sides of the spectrum.
Something's come up that they can actually get their teeth into.
And they've joined, and I was shocked that they joined. I thought, really, you're putting your money into something, and I made a donation when the first, and we've started up this podcast again. We clearly support the notion of your party, but to have someone who would never in the past have committed to this, to anything, to now say, no, it's time now, I'm ready to commit. And then they've had to claw their money back because of all of this nonsense going on online.
Yeah.
And they've had to go to their bank and whatever.
Which was
and now they won't join. They're not joining.
No, they've gone. Yeah. Might vote in the ballot box, but they're not joining.
But they're never joining.
And that depends on.
Well, they've said that to me.
The rest of it.
Well, it's just ridiculous. And you see the post from.
They had one chance.
One chance, and they see the post from Jeremy Corbyn saying, "Oh, we're announcing our new party and blah blah blah."
I
all
also
the comments.
Sorry, today's sort of popcorn fart of a launch.
Yeah,
which it is.
Yeah,
it's just sort of spilled out.
Mm-hmm.
It's splurged out in some non-uniform sort of gloop. Oh, look, the membership's open. And have you seen any sort of messages of how many thousands of people have signed up yet?
No.
Last week we're at 10,000 already within 20 minutes. 20,000 within an hour.
All I saw were comments underneath that thing announcing the second membership portal.
The second coming.
Saying, well, what happened to my original membership? What happened to my money? What's going on?
I'm having to do this again.
Because that's what they have to ask about, because there's no clarification.
And again, it is it's just
well, they've clarified. They've said underneath, right?
Yeah.
So they put another post up saying, for those who joined under the previous system last week, please be assured your data and membership is secure and will be migrated across. There is nothing more for you to do at this stage. What if you're like my friend and you've sought a refund? Does your data migrate across?
What happens if, like a lot of people I know who have signed up twice now,
Yes.
and have paid again?
Twice.
Yeah. A lot of them have.
Yeah.
So do they get a refund, or do they get...
absolute legal, logistical and fiduciary nightmare and data control nightmare. And we don't have to get into details about that. But
and why... And this is the thing. Okay, I do sort of know. The access to the information from last week is subject to the ICO's scrutiny now, because they've self-reported to the Information Commissioner.
Yeah.
So that data cannot be used, which is why they can't use it.
We have to be careful with it, yeah. So this whole idea that it can be migrated across, not at the moment. Sorry.
Not at the moment, not until the ICO goes, okay, you can use that.
And how long will that take? 5 years, I've heard, on some grapevine.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about...
So you're all stuck in limbo, sorry.
Someone in an office somewhere.
Yeah.
So that money stays with the trustees.
Yeah, the MOU.
So that,
stop calling them trustees. They're just a company.
It's just a company.
It's just a set of companies doing.
So they're holding all of the money there now.
Yeah, possibly 500,000 at least.
At least.
Yeah, at least of people's money, and it's just absolutely not thinking ahead. So these people who signed up previously, arguably, if their data is in this holding pattern of waiting for scrutiny from the ICO, they actually do need to sign up again.
Yeah.
Actually, to be part of the system, because presumably that data can't actually be migrated over.
Well,
we don't know any of this.
And this thing, there's a lot of things. There's no point stating any facts about what's going on in the middle, because the middle keeps dancing round.
Well, all I know is that when people were messaging on these various different groups that, saying, oh, well, and there's no criticism, because in this situation, it's a flux facts situation. Legally, you just have to get your money back. That's all you can do.
There should have been immediate refunds.
Yeah.
That point of, right, we're going to refund you in the next 48 hours has gone.
Yeah. Well, it will cost money to refund.
Yes, but what they are doing now is they're holding money, and a lot of it, in an account that's now earning interest.
Well, yeah.
So, sorry, that's...
Yeah.
What exactly...
Why would they give you the money back?
I've been told it's safe, and I know I've spoken to one person who's a part of that who says it's safe, it's there, it's going to eventually be brought back.
Right.
But and that aside, and the whole bickering aside as well, because I don't think we should commentate on that, because I think that's a very litigious place to set foot at the moment, because whether someo's getting sued or not changes with the wind.
Oh, it's just posturing. It's just nonsense, allegedly. But
and I've actually, and there's other things going on as well, because I'm literally tired of this already.
Well,
we're a month in.
Yeah, last week we discussed the email that came out with the timeline, right?
Yeah.
And the regional assemblies and all this kind of stuff. And my question to you was, if this goes the way that, the lottery and the sortition and all that kind of stuff, if that goes the way that they're scheduling it will, or they're setting out that it will, where does that leave all the organisational work that's been done by these coordinators across Wales, Scotland and England?
Right. Well, okay, I was a part of a meeting this week that was discussing that.
Yeah.
So someone who was part of the committee who was planning things like that, the idea was they'd opened up a portal for facilitators to sign up.
Great.
And these facilitators were going to be contacted if there were already things in place. That was the communication point. And then from there, they build from there. And if there was an area without a facilitator, those facilitators go ahead and do their thing.
Yeah.
If there were already facilitators or groups in place, then it was at that moment that those groups were going to be brought in.
Yeah.
And then regional assemblies would be organised.
Sure.
So, for example, as in Wales, I got told there were two going to be organised in Wales. One for South, one for North.
Makes sense.
And each region to have similar sort of things. So, so that was. Sorry, that was your question, wasn't it?
Well, So my question is, why shouldn't we all just not be involved in this, because it's so chaotic and destructive?
I mean, for me,
and your response was, "I'm tired a month in already."
Yeah, but I'm not just tired about what's happened.
Yeah.
We're talking about. I'm tired about other things that are happening as well.
Sure, involving your party.
Involving your party, the things I can't really.
No, nor should you. No.
But there are things that I just knock my head against the wall. On one side, you've got people saying, well, it shouldn't be a carbon copy of the Labour Party and the structure's there. Some things have to be. Some things, especially organising meetings, it has to be. Okay, you could do things differently. I like the idea of breakout sessions and a bit more of informal discussion, and rather than it all being business and
letting people be involved in things they want to be involved with.
Yeah, and a little bit more. And the whole point of this one is that more information from the top goes to the lower levels.
Yeah.
So the lower levels, branches and constituency groups, or whatever groups that are formed, can discuss, make opinions, have a vote, state their position, and for that to then be through a conduit of the likes of me to then go to the upper parts and let them know.
That's pretty basic stuff. So if you're
basic
if you're
stuff.
talking about the minute, like even in the Labour Party, despite all its faults, you always got minutes of the NEC meetings. They were very brief minutes, and they weren't very descriptive. But you could comment on the things that NEC.
Yeah, and
are we getting that? What's going?
Well, I mean, it's just the varying opinions in. Like, there's one opinion going round. Oh, well, all the minutes of meetings going round shouldn't be shared at all.
Well, the problem with that is that this is where we start getting into the territory of, well, what is this thing? Because at the moment,
what is this thing?
It's two companies with various different groups arguing about who's actually your party, and then another set of groups saying, well, the minutes of the, what is this?
But the thing is, there's another group sort of saying something, and then they just sort of forget one quite important thing. It doesn't belong to them.
No.
So even these people who've got stakeholder status in the official companies and everything, in all fairness, we don't have to, as a group, we're not forced to associate ourselves within their structures.
No, we don't.
We
However,
can decide what our structure is.
yes, but they've got all our money. That's the problem at this point.
Well, which is, yeah.
That's and that's
They've got the
root.
Well, yeah, but hang on. One group's got the money. One group's got the data.
Yeah.
So one group has got the membership and money.
Mm-hmm.
There's another group that has money and no data now.
Yeah.
And within it all, I'm just sort of, and I'm looking like, right, hang on a minute, which group do I believe in? People's Front of Judea or the Judean People's Front?
Well, that's the.
And it tires me that because the most important thing to do, certainly from what I've got involved in, is to make sure that the limited number of members that we have collected together are informed.
Yeah.
To within reason, I think hearsay is not information. I think gossip needs to be removed.
Well, it has to be certainty, doesn't it? So if you wouldn't but that's why you draft minutes in a particular way. For example, minutes are an example, reports are another. You don't draft minutes of speculation. So you don't have minutes that say some people expressed an opinion, blah blah blah, without knowing that that's a certainty of opinion. You don't just sort of make stuff up in minutes.
Yeah, but these meetings that are
probably
going
quite
on,
boring.
they're very boring. They're very sort of they're not how I expected this party to start. There's one meeting I was at on Monday, obviously Zoom or Teams or whichever one it was, and it was a really good meeting and it was very positive. The other one was I just saw as I don't know how we describe it, a complete disconnect from what is actually happening around them.
Right. Okay.
And I just sort of feel like I'm standing in the middle of the room going, hang on a minute, we can't make these decisions like it's the Labour Party anymore.
Yeah.
We haven't got this top-down structure. The mandate for the party was bottom-up grassroots.
Yeah.
That's where the furrow lies on it. And there are people I just sort of think, right, you're trying to grab power into that position now.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to do that. Okay. And in my head I'm going, well, the only reason why any group that is trying to claw some sort of leverage over another, and whichever faction it is or whichever group it is based on how many supporters they've got.
Yeah.
How many people have aligned themselves to that cabal?
Mm. Well, this is where I go back to and what we spoke about in the first set of podcasts about your party, sovereignty, and it's an
Sovereignty
abstract
mandate,
concept, and who holds the power, and at the moment, this is why the factions have occurred. It seems different people hold different sorts of powers.
Yeah.
And that's extremely problematic for someone on the outside, which I technically am, looking at it and
well,
going, what is the point?
This week it has consolidated into a firm group.
Has it?
To an extent, yeah.
Okay.
Because those that were there last week, and there's a lot that aren't there anymore, or there's people in positions that they've done really good work so far, and they've left and others have come in, or this isn't how I wanted this to start.
Yeah.
And what happened today, I think today has been another disaster.
Okay.
I think this limp-wristed way of opening up the membership again is absolutely the wrong way of doing it. It's such a, what do they call it, a damp squib?
Yeah.
Way of doing it. Because now they could have right, well, we're going to spend time and actually open up the membership in an exciting new way with clear instructions. As you've just pointed out, they've had to reiterate instructions and concerns after the launch.
And the damp squibness of it, it's absolutely, I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, our membership portal, you will be able to offer your skills as a volunteer, see all the latest your party events, it's very Labour-esque in the sense of you're paying for a service. You're paying for the chance to be involved in something.
Oh yeah, you
amazing.
could be in the room with an MP.
Yeah, and I couldn't give a fuck. Sorry for swearing, but that's how angry some of us feel about this. We don't devote our time for the chance to be part of something. We devote our time to make society better. And the work you've been doing in setting up these local groups and making sure we can communicate and start meeting and start doing some work in our community is much closer to that vision than see all your latest Your Party events, offer your skills as a volunteer, vote on big decisions when the time comes. And that's what they've written. It's just absolute PR, project management, corporate gobbledygook, and it's a waste of my time.
But then it's all the PR without the communication, which is Labour Party again.
Yeah.
So when people are going, oh, we don't want a Labour Party Mark II, it's happening.
Yeah.
Meeting structure. Yes, I think you do have to, because you have to conform to how community councils work and county councils work, and
that's union, and it's from union movement.
Yeah,
that's how unions run their
that's
meetings.
fine.
Yeah,
but yes, we can add a different slant to it. But in terms of structure and how they're doing this, they are messing it up every week now.
Yeah,
and I'm not even angry. I'm just
disappointed.
I can't tell you, because on the one side, I've, with the things we've discussed on this program, where, the jackboots are marching.
Yeah, it's real. It's serious.
This is happening now, and it's not. And what are we doing? Just the level of incompetency. And the most that people can do is they're either looking at this as an opportunity to get back into politics as a career and as a vehicle for their own ambitions.
Yeah.
Or there's people that are genuinely trying to, like you say, genuinely trying to change the world and trying to change the world around them, and they're being stifled.
Yeah.
There's untruths going around. There's
that was very 1984-esque.
It is.
You mean a lie, don't you?
No,
lies.
Untruth.
No, lies they're called, Dav. That's the name.
No, this is the world we're going into.
Yeah.
And well done.
No.
Well done for picking up on me saying it in that particular way.
That's what I'm here for.
Absolutely.
Picking up the obvious.
Nothing obvious about this. But then the other thing, there's conspiracy theories within the groups now.
I know. And they're based.
The level of conspiracy theories are just, it's just draining.
But that's what factionalism encourages.
Why don't, right, just as an example, within our own area, within our region, have we got any inkling of factionalism in any of our discussions?
No.
There's lively discussions.
And there's people. I mean,
disagreements.
I've got involved in some of these discussions because I'm sort of keen to harbour a healthy debate. But there's like when all this kicked off last week, I put out a message saying, "Listen, I'm so proud that we're just getting on with it because it's frustrating seeing this." But where, I mean,
how do you go on from here where it doesn't seem to matter who is above you in terms of the grand structure?
Sure.
That you just go, right, you're not in this. It's got the whiff of something's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about accepting the reality. So, and I was being a bit glib and cynical, but at the moment there are three companies. There's Peace and Justice, which is the thing that Corbyn set up.
Yeah.
And there's
a couple of years ago.
Your Party Limited, which is the company that has the data or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's MOU, which is Memorandum of Understanding, which is a company which controls the money.
Yeah, which is Beth Winter and
Andrew Feinstein and someone else. Worth noting, experienced politicians who know what they're doing. I mean, Andrew Feinstein was part of the African Union Congress. Nelson Mandela's movement. He knows what he's talking about. I've met him actually.
Oh,
and interesting bloke. And
And there's also our party,
Oh, yeah, sure.
which is
So now you've got these different legal entities.
yeah.
And the terms and service of this new membership portal is not operated by your party. It's operated by the Peace and Justice Project. So,
Sorry, hang on. Just to clarify that, so this is not your party,
right?
The company. This is Peace and Justice Project membership.
So if you sign up, if you go to your party membership,
oh, for God's sake,
and yeah, exactly. And this isn't the old portal. So this was memorandum of understanding, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm trying to say.
So when's the Peace and Justice Project become a political entity
no
now,
idea.
like that as a party?
No, well, that's
because Corbyn said from the day one, this is not going to be a political party.
Yeah. But the problem is that, and this is what we said before, money talks, and there are corporate realities to all this. And, people can say, oh, I trust these individuals and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. What matters is what's actually going on in the background, which is you've got several entities controlled by different people that control various aspects of what the party is. Because at the moment, the party doesn't exist as a registered political party. It's several distinct elements, possibly associations, and all of this creates a tapestry of problems in terms of ethics, morality, and law. And I'm looking at it's absolutely
here's a question for you, because this is just a complete mess. And if it was me, the justice and peace movement, or whatever, social, or whatever you called it,
which is a really good movement.
I'm not
really
saying I'm not saying it's a bad movement.
No,
I'm just saying that it's messy.
Sure.
If I was reopening or opening, whichever way you want to phrase it, the membership portal, I'd have spent a week or two doing it.
Yeah.
I'd have spent a week saying, we're going to nullify all the payments so far, we're going to make refunds, we're going to do that, blah, de, blah, de, blah. This will be the portal when it comes up, and do a countdown. And then do a 10-day countdown with 10 days of the reasons why you should sign up.
Yeah.
And then a big opening of membership portal. Countdown 2, bang, go. And then for all the social media people and all of the people in the tech department and all to be ready to get the social media posts out, have those 10,000 count, 20,000 count, 50,000 count, 100,000 count, to make a news story out of it. And what's happened? This is just lopped out today.
Interesting. The terms of service page has been taken down. I've just checked it again. I've refreshed it and it's gone.
Terms of service for who?
So for the site. So the thing I was commenting on before, how it says Peace and Justice Limited.
Yeah.
That's gone, been taken down. So maybe they're changing it. I don't know.
As we speak.
Yeah, we're not live, are we? So this is happening.
Well, I mean, this podcast will be going live in about an hour after we finish recording.
Yeah, so all of this hopefully would have been sorted out. But it's
breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. But because their privacy notice they've checked. But this is the thing. So the general point that you're talking about the showmanship, as it were, the way of putting this out there as a party.
You've got to communicate this.
And
this is Labour's problem.
This is it. And I'm talking about it from a sort of procedural constitutional level, which is nothing exists yet.
No.
So stop pretending it does. On a very granular level now. So when you're asking people for money, make sure you actually
have something in place.
Sorted it out, because at the moment, I'm analysing this as a whatever I am. It looks.
This was one of the arguments where they knew it was going to take time.
Yeah.
There's an argument that's been said that there should have been longer time spent previous to July.
Yeah.
In organising this all before it was announced that there was a party.
Yeah, but then they shut one of the people out. They did their own thing. Signed up to a website, to an application process that has terms of service that are drafted for Californian law, not England and Welsh law, but that's a whole other thing. This has been an absolute rude word show.
Oh, you've already used one.
Oh, I've already used the worst one, not the worst one.
No. Oh no, I can think of several more.
And it's really infuriating from someone who hasn't been putting in a huge amount of work for this.
No, and I have.
And you have. And it's exactly how it was under when we were both.
This
the
feels
Party.
like this feels like that last year.
And the hope is quickly evaporating.
Well, something has to evaporate, one or the other. Okay, here's a thought to you. Why do we have to have a central body of such power and magnitude?
You don't.
So how about
you can either have a central body or a central document that everyone agrees with. That's your choice.
Yeah.
And
how about maybe just to start things off, every region signs up their own electoral party under the similar name. So there's
a separate Green Party of England and Wales and a separate Green Party of Scotland.
I mean even smaller than that.
Yeah, you can. Why not?
I mean,
well, you have regional parties in the UK. You have the Yorkshire Party, for example.
Northern Independence Party.
Yeah.
The
with their logo that's a dog.
Whip it.
Whip it. Yeah,
whip
brilliant.
it.
But
whip it and a pie.
That's it. And
but to be fair, though, that group would fit in with your party quite well.
Yeah,
they're already established.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't okay, I know they've already named themselves the Electoral Commission, but just basically say we'll associate ourselves with and have these groups that are either already in place or to become in place to then have, and then, like you say, have that central body, a federalised system.
Well, this is it, and this is where I ask those questions.
And even break down, because break down all of England, break down all of Scotland and Wales.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's things that will work in South Wales that won't work in North Wales, but won't work in Coventry, won't work in Sunderland.
Both Corbyn and Sultana have said we want to adopt the model of community organisation because that is what we believe in.
Yes.
I then asked the question, well, where's the power? Who holds sovereignty in that scenario, right? Predicting that this kind of thing would happen.
You did,
and
say
it has
a few
happened.
weeks. Yeah,
and
you said this a few weeks ago on the podcast.
If you don't have established discussions about what the structure of something is, and just assume, it'll be all right, we're all on the same page. No one is ever on the same page with stuff like this, because everyone has different experiences. We have members of our local group who are completely shunned from their old Labour Party, and they have a completely different experience to, say, my experience was to become an officer and to become influential and to try and, and wasn't shunned, and because I'm a stooge. No, because, that's the way I managed to do it. But people have different experiences of how this stuff works, and you can't assume that everyone agrees. I am vehemently against any particular person holding any huge amount of power in our party. I'm completely against that, and I don't care who they are.
Without the mechanism of removing them.
Yes, well, that's the Benite solution, if you like. Where's their power? How much do they have, and how do you get rid of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the moment, we can't get rid of company directors.
No, because they
have our money
and they have our data.
Yeah, and that's the end of it.
And that's a concern I have, because I sort of get the reassuring messages of, oh no, it's safe, it's okay, and then on the other hand, I'm looking, I'm going, yeah, but then it's not just that kind of power. It's power then in meetings and organisations and structures.
Yeah,
and then I'm looking sideways, going, I feel there's things that are happening which are wrong.
Yeah.
And that's all I can describe it as.
Okay.
As being,
what is it? Feels wrong.
It feels wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's people out. I'm going to a convention on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. The one in Birmingham, is it?
Yes. Yeah. Organised by Anwar Khan, who's a brilliant fellow, who's spent so much time organising, facilitating a lot of coordinators across the country together. If he ever listens to this, thank you very much. And then they're doing this convention on Saturday, which it's a networking event.
Great.
Speakers.
Sign me up.
Speakers. You got a ticket if you want. Speakers.
I know. That's what I was just saying it for anyone else. They ought to go.
Yeah. It's sold out.
Oh, wow.
Which is
then you can't go. It's too late. It's over. Sorry.
It's all over. Now, I know the conversations that are going to happen there on Saturday, which is, well, we'll just crack on.
And wonderfully, that's always the
Absolutely.
upshot.
Well, this is where the
the
concept of ourparty.org.uk,
sure.
or whatever it's come out, is actually, we don't need these people who are holding this kind of power. We can do it ourselves. And we could do it at a regional and local level. And then, like you say, who holds the power? Well, yes, we can all agree on a central document. We can all agree that that's the values and principles.
It's
and
complicated. It's just a set of principles.
What do you mean? Like simple ideas?
Yeah, just
so we can all agree upon.
Well, yeah, and then you vote or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
I mean, the American Constitution is one of the shortest constitutions. It's very short.
Yes, but they did have to amend it like 40 odd times.
26 times, and
you nerd.
Yeah, or 28. I can't remember. Yeah, and one of them was to ban alcohol. But swings and roundabouts. Things can still go wrong. Is my point. But yeah.
Anyway, oh God, how long have we? Jay, how long have we just been talking? I thought that was 20 minutes. That's 47 minutes.
Well, I'm sure the listeners will enjoy the ramblings of.
Well, it's not just ramblings. I'm concerned that there's a lot of good people who've already been brought together.
Yeah.
In different areas, not just ours. That are going to be very, 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 very frustrated in the months to come.
Yeah.
Because there are promises being made that either can't be delivered or there are mechanisms being brought into place to frustrate any progression.
And that's what happens if you're in your head thinking, well, we need to keep a bit of control here, a bit of order, and we need to make sure things are done sensibly and that we can actually achieve something. Just bear in mind that what you actually may be doing is just frustrating people and annoying them.
Yeah, you become a data blockage.
And the gatekeeper. And this is it.
Yeah. And in the last 24 hours, the amount of gatekeeping that I've had to kick the bloody hinges off.
Yeah.
And you're just looking at them going, what? Right, if it's that sensitive, don't say it in that meeting.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But those meetings, I'm being asked by members of my region, what's going on? Can you let us know?
Yeah.
Well, what are they saying on this? What are they saying on that? What are they saying on this subject?
Well, I perhaps have a stronger view on that point, which is you said several times, quite rightly, in the context, well, I'm not going to talk about that, or I can't talk about that. I think that's unacceptable for you in that position. I think any meeting that any of us attend, we should be able to talk about publicly. And that's
the only caveat I've said is like a part 2 of a meeting, but then
very strict.
But then stated absolutely and categorically in this part 2, this is stuff that is to do with finances, data,
and even then, you still describe what you've talked about.
Yeah, the general subject.
You don't say what might
Secret.
have. Yeah, but you still say we spoke about this.
Yeah.
And then members can scrutinise and they can say, well, should that have been a part 2, or what did you talk about? Can you tell us, please? And that's the way you solve that problem, if you like. But no, I agree with you. I think we're running out of steam.
Very quickly as well.
And,
this could all collapse overnight.
And what they need to bear in mind, including Corbyn, I note that the contact email for any issues you have with the party and the website, whatever, is herewego@yourparty.uk. And that was the phrase that Corbyn used in the last election campaign that he was involved. Here we go at yourparty.uk. Right?
Here we go.
Because that's the phrase he used in his... And it's nice. No, I like that. I like that reference.
Here we go. Away on
watch the clip. It's a great clip of him coming down the stairs and going, exciting campaign. Here we go.
Yes, I do remember.
Unfortunately, it's going to become here we go again, because we all know
going through this
what factionalism does to a party
and
to a group of people. It happens all the time. It happens everywhere. Every organisation.
Open the doors.
Yeah. Just open the doors. decide
and the
on
thing
basic
is
procedure and
that-
get on with it.
And this is the thing. Anyone listening, who's a coordinator or facilitator or
Yeah.
anything like that, just bear in mind, you are not there to decide on everybody else's behalf what they should believe in or who they should sign up to or anything like that.
Yeah.
You are there as a representative for your group to represent your group and their wishes and their values in whichever meeting room you're in.
And that's hard to do, but
And
you
it's
need to do it.
their values,
Yeah.
not yours.
Yeah.
And the only way you can do that is by informing them of what is going on in the meetings you are discussing subjects on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You are a conduit. You are to inform your groups fully what is going on so they can discuss, make decisions or put questions to you.
Well, this is interesting.
And then you relay those back.
Because last time we were talking about who has the mandate, right?
Yeah.
So last time you were talking about how, well, people have to have confidence that what they're doing is they have the mandate to do. And this is the responsibility aspect of the power. So the reason that everyone who is doing what they're doing now has the mandate is because it's expected that you will report back to your group. You will report back to the people who sent you where you're going. And your mandate is created by that connection you have with the people who have said, go and sort this out for us. And that's, delegated authority or whatever you want to call it. And it's
But then it's one of those now where I'm starting to get into the belief that too big a region, too big an area doesn't help the people within those regions.
Yeah. Because
if it's too big a geographical area that gets lumped into one, there's no point.
No.
No, I'm very dejected with what's been going on recently.
Yeah.
And all I can say, for those of you who still starry-eyed, fluffy-tailed and think it's all going to be great, brilliant, fine. I hope you get some peace in what's going on in the world at the moment. But in terms of how this party and whatever it's going to be called and whichever faction's going to come out on top, the fact we're talking about that it's just disgusting to me.
Yeah,
it's absolutely abhorrent.
Yeah. It's why I used quite harsh language before, because it instinctively it just feels like a waste of time now, because it's repeating the same story
and
it's boring.
And I get there's other voices that I've also read. There's people just trying to hold things together and trying not for this factional rubbish to get out. That's for me. That's putting a band-aid on a wound. The wound's there. It's open. It's a gaping wound that has been caused in the last 7 days. The only way to sort it out for me is for the grassroots side of the movement to take control of it and to take ownership of it and to decide fairly what is the structure, which way are we going. Do we listen to these people who are leading us down embarrassing story after embarrassing story, levels of incompetency on every stage? Or do you know what? Should we just forget about it?
Well, they need to know. They need to stop. Those in charge, as it were, need to stop pretending they know what they're doing. Nothing like this has been attempted. A party from scratch, or based on democratic grassroots principles.
Actually, yes.
Well, abroad it has.
Abroad it
has.
has.
In the UK, it hasn't.
Well, not for a century.
Even our specific, and where they didn't have social media, internet, and whatever else.
But then the I think there's a lot of influence based on Belgium.
Great.
There's a party there a couple of years ago that formed in a similar way, and they've taken a lot of they've looked over then how they did it,
right?
And that's the way it was going, but it's not now.
Yeah.
So now it's a hodgepodge of different
crap. Sorry.
Yeah.
Swearing.
You're very sweary today, aren't you?
It's because
Sorry, everyone to the listeners. I'm realising this is not being a fun segment.
we normally do despair followed by hope. And today it's
but
been
there's despair followed by runny
yeah.
poo.
But if you are part of these smaller groups that exist across the UK,
Stick with the smaller groups.
and you're talking with them, they will be ignoring this nonsense. They will.
Yeah.
And they won't. And there will be people who
because on the ground level, it's a load of people who got together who realise they've got the same values or similar values, or they could discuss things.
And if your group isn't, be the person who makes that happen. Be the facilitator in your local group, and say, "Listen, guys, I'm in this room because I believe in this, in you and us, whatever's going on above or higher up." And and I've said this in various groups, and that's the beginning and end. I have massively different political opinions to Sultana, Corbyn, and a lot of left-wing people.
Yeah, because you're a stooge.
Because I'm a stooge. But I really
don't even know what you're doing here.
I really want to be in the room fighting with everyone else in that room. And that's the end of it. And that's what parties actually are, really.
Yeah, I understand when you get into the debates on policy, we're not even there.
No.
We're nowhere near.
No. We're arguing over
We're arguing over what colour gate do we want.
Yeah.
Dav,
it's worse than that. We're arguing over if we want a gate. In fact,
is it a gate?
We're arguing over what a gate is.
Yeah.
That's and we need to get over ourselves and get on with it. It's boring.
And who's going to keep it? Or should there be a keeper?
Yeah, should there be?
Oh, so I don't know. Someone out there, cheer us up.
Yeah, engage. Tell us why we're wrong, or tell us why. Tell us about your group and how you're doing things.
Do you know what? I'd like to. Really nice. I haven't really done anything this week about who's been. There's been people contacted. Penny Morden.
Sorry,
George. Sorry, I've doing it from memory. There was a comment last week from, I think it was George again.
Yeah,
who was the one who said about Hamas a few weeks ago.
Oh, right.
We forgot to talk about Penny Morden.
Did we?
And supposedly it was a bet. He says it was a bet that it was was it penis or cock or something like that?
Cock. So she was in a debate about chickens, or roosters and whatever. How many times she could get the word cock into that debate, referencing the male chicken?
Yes,
and that was what. And she did. I don't know if she won the bet or not, but she had to apologise in the end for making a mockery of the system. But that was what I was referring
to. That's confidence.
It might be a new segment.
Jay's
parliamentary peculiarities, perhaps, or something. But
Jay's peculiar.
Yeah, Jay's peculiar parliament. But I think it'll be a good spin. Anyway, we'll stop there. I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right then, humanoids. Apologies if this last hour has been. Wait,
I've enjoyed it, Dav.
I know you've enjoyed it, but you enjoy the this. For me, again, for me, it's just been. For me, it's so simple.
Yeah.
How to put it together,
but that's because you, with respect to I'm one of the procedural anoraks. I'm meant to be doing this stuff. The people who actually want to get stuff done and campaign and do policy and all that, they shouldn't be doing this bit.
No.
I should be doing this.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not really bothered about the policy. I roughly know where it's going to go. I've got an idea. There's going to be arguments and debate. I'll get involved in there when it comes up, but I'm not worried about that bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully in the next podcast we can talk about the different roles that might exist in the new party, and we can get a bit more positive about that. But for now, we're deciding whether there's a gate or not, and that needs to stop.
Or the administrators.
There'll be
Well,
there'll be the anoraks, and there'll be the people who actually talk to the public. That's my point.
No, I meant the winding up administrators. There's a few roles that could be.
Well, I'm not going to talk about that. But
I hope everybody else out there has had a better week somehow, and I hope the people who signed up today know what they've signed up for. I hope we're not misled again. I hope it's not going to be another 48 hours of popcorn farts and us going, is it? Are we members yet? Is this the member? Are we members of this party? Are we members for a little bit more clarification? But
I'm just checking.
I will carry on doing what I do until I'm told not to.
It's working locally. Keep doing it, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all we can do.
For those of us who can't.
And then for people who think they're gonna use this as a means to their own ends, I think there's a few of us going to fall out with you quite quickly. Right then, humanoids, that's going to be the last word here of the Two Left Feet, the unofficial something podcast, the unofficial British Party podcast, British
first.
politics.
Shall we go UKIP next? That's all.
Oh, what, jump from party to party?
Yeah,
the official
let's do. Yeah.
My God, my name's not Paul. We'll get on with what's going on next week. Bring back, oh God, just some good news. That's all. I'm hoping, Jay, next week is the good news episode.
Definitely.
I'm going to start it off positively next week.
Great. Look forward to it.
Yep. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, all the humanoids out there, join us next week on the same podcast time, same podcast channel, and come join us back for the Two Left Feet. I've been Dafydd Vaughan.
And I've been Jabez Oakes.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Did people actually listen to this bit? It's not.
To this podcast?
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Oh, thousands. Unfortunately, by this point, they're all asleep.
Oh, right.
Interesting.